I got into transport through education. I did a research project in the UK on access to education, so trying to get more young people to go to university for either full-time education or part-time education, as well as people in the community going to like evening classes like pottery and computer studies. And the problem was that everyone was driving to all of the universities and the colleges, and so they had a huge transport problem. And so I kind of went into it through education and came out as a transport planner. Berlin is a really interesting place for someone who is a transport planner. Lots of people cycle in some neighbourhoods. In the central area around Prenzlauer Berg and Mitte, there are lots of people riding bikes on the roads. There's lots of cycle infrastructure. However, when you get outside of the S-Bahn area, then there's not such great bike infrastructure. There's lots of public transport. It's reliable, and compared to Australia, I would say it's relatively cheap. The trains are really busy at peak time quite often. On the off-peak, they're not so busy. And I have been surprised at how many cars there are in the city. People always herald Berlin as a place where people don't have cars, and my own personal observations are that the streets are really full of parked cars and there are congestion issues. So I guess Berlin, like every city in the world, should be advocating for more bicycle infrastructure and to get more people to cycle more of the time. We need to talk about mobility and transportation in cities because it affects everyone. We all need to move around cities, and we all need to be involved in talking about something that's important to us. You know, the most important things for everyone, everywhere, is to have somewhere to live, to have some money, to have food, and also to be able to move around, because yes, it would be great if we all lived in self-contained communities where we didn't have to go anywhere but within, say, 1 square mile of where we live, but that's just not practical. So my programs are about mobility and transport, but it's not just about that, it's more about people. So we can have brand new buses and we can have great train networks, but it's about the people who use them that are the most important thing for me. One of the projects that we're doing is an open source bike map. So we're inviting to people to get involved by saying where they think cycle infrastructure should be, because we've moved to an age where we're talking more about how we can all get involved rather than waiting for governments and councils to tell us where they're going to build a new bikeway. I guess when you come to any city from a different city, you're always going to get criticised for bringing ideas from elsewhere. I think projects like the lab are a really great opportunity to bring people from lots of different countries, from lots of different cities, with lots of different experiences into one place to have conversations about the city of the future. And I guess if we all just stayed in our own neighbourhood and just talked about our own neighbourhood and didn't see examples from elsewhere, then that would kind of stifle our thinking. And I think if we all put all our ideas that we have from around the world into the bag and shake them up, mix them up and throw them out, then we're going to come out with some really great recommendations for the future.